And it's another wonderful morning in Italy. It's time to go. Weather served me well on my motorcycle trip. A week and a half of the journey was only sunny until the journey's end, and it was a cloudy little bit sky in Serbia, but mostly it was dry and pleasant. I looked in the mirror and I realized that I succeeded in what I set out to make a successful motorcycle journey through Italy. I didn't plan to go alone, but no one else could when I did. So I grabbed a cup of coffee in Rome, last breakfast in Rome, and a short plan where I would stop on the way to Ancona on my way home. I have to arrive on time for the ferry, otherwise I will miss it. Actually, I will miss the only transport I have for that day. So I made a little plan, like for day one, I need time to catch the ferry on my way home. I will travel at night, starting from 8 o'clock in the evening, as far as I remember. I hope to get a good night's sleep while the ship's away on the waves, because I'm not sure, sometimes I'm sick. For the day two, in the morning I arrived in Split. The next day it will be interesting to see that beautiful city where I was as a baby and crawled around the tavern stable. It seems to me, when I was about 5 years old, if I remember correctly, maybe even less, but my first birthday was in this place called Split. That day was reserved for me to get from Split to Dubrovnik without stopping, because as I understood, there are parts of Croatia that are not so friendly towards Serbs. It took me about 3.5 hours, which is not a lot, so I had time to watch MotoGP with Valentino. I found slightly larger gas station on Google, believe it that maybe they have TV, and I was quite right. I could find good food, good coffee, and TV. I asked the saleswoman to find the channel, and as soon as MotoGP shows on the screen, almost everyone at the gas station no longer ate or drank, but they were watching what's happening, and they're watching Vale, or Valentino Rossi. Happy with the race, I continue my great path, and actually there was lots of tunnels. It was pretty cold inside, and they were quite long, especially since some they are really long. You don't feel quite comfortable. The weather is sunny, everything is somehow calm, although there's lots of cars and traffic. The traffic is quite heavy. After a couple of hours of driving, I reached my destination. Then I saw a couple of motorcyclists parked in a large area, and when I got closer I noticed that everyone was waiting for the ticket there. So great, I was on time, that was important. And while I was waiting for ferry, I parked next to the BMW, and that is how I met a Frenchman who is a policeman and who rides motorcycle. As we Serbs say, he was my companion and brother on the bike. We have remained in contact to these days, and another proof that your mother brothers are true brothers. I also have a friend in Kuwait as well, my brother on motorcycle too, and who's still in contact with me today, even if we are so far away from each other. So I believe these kind of friendships, they're really true and they're really nice. And we arrived in Split, and then my emotions, memories of the atmosphere and seashore awakened. A lot of lines with many cars and motorbikes stretched out in front of me. With Dubrovnik, whenever I come here, I remember when I was 5 or 6 years old, when I ate my first lobster, and when I lost the red combo I loved. And I don't know how I remember that. I was really young that time. Somehow I always need to eat fish, octopus, moussaka, and always this feeling I have when I'm in Croatia or Greece. There is also interesting Croatian wines. For now, I was delighted with the wines Plavac Mali. I didn't try many of them, but it's a kind of interesting taste and taste that like could be really tannic, dry, and really powerful on the palate. It is a cross between Cijenjak Kaštelansk and Dobrići grape. And the primary red wine grape is grown along the Croatia-Dalmatian coast. So Plavac Mali produced a rich, flavorful wine high in alcohol, typically around 12 but up to 17%. So I needed to reach the border, but not just one. On my way to Dubrovnik, I was driving along the coast and I had to cross 3 borders on my way into Montenegro. One part of the sea area belongs to Bosnia, so I had to go to Croatia, Bosnia, Croatia, and then to Montenegro. So you can see the map. The whole trip though through Italy went perfectly, and when I reached the border with Montenegro, I came across the road where I look normal. I mean, it looks everything dry, kind of, without stains and very slippery, but I went maybe 20 kilometers per hour, which is quite slow, but enough that my steering wheel was totally out of control. I don't know from where, and that was my first fall on the whole this journey in a week and a half at that time. So I was hoping my motorbike wasn't damaged, so I could at least get home, and so it was. Like 2 guys came to help me. They were quite tall and with bright hair and strong, and they helped me pick a bike, or rather they pick it up in a second. It was quite easy for them and everything worked. I broke just one mirror and there was a bit scratch on the side, and that's it. It was, I think, more a shock for me that like looks really clean road in front of me and I just kind of lose the control. So luckily I was able to drive to Luštica Bay. I decided to stop in Tivat in Montenegro and have a coffee because Ivana works anyway, and I was visiting Ivana. She's one of my best friends beside Jeca, and so that I could see her. I couldn't see her right away, so I just ordered coffee and tried to calm down and relax. I sat down and I realized I was still kind of excited about the fall. I sent David a message and picture to look at it. Who looks my previous videos knows that David is my mechanic, and he was like through all trip online with me, just to helping, also supporting while I was traveling alone, like if I need some assistance or something. He has always been on the line to help me if I need it. So called Ivana, and it didn't take long, so I met with her. I unpacked because I meant to stay there for 2 or 3 days. I didn't know for sure. I haven't decided exactly yet. I also look at the weather forecast to avoid bad weather too when I travel to Belgrade, because it's quite a long trip. I think it's around 8.5 hours without stopping. I wasn't sure I want to go. So there is nothing else to say in Montenegro. While I was just, most of the time, while even I was at work, I was just resting on the beach. When a person travels, they discover who they really are, what they can achieve, and so much more. The moments person's senses are brought alive and adventure starts to be a success. The travel bug bites hard, but the motorcycle travel bites deep. So, while I was thinking where I was and what I did, I also wrote down what my kind of itinerary. Approximately I drove around 3,000 kilometers. Isn't it kind of amazing? That is something that makes me really happy, and I did by myself. And so Ivana and I spent a few days chatting, walking around, drinking, eating crepes with Nutella and strawberries. And what can I say? It was the best time of my life. She is the most cute pregnant woman I have ever seen. After a few days, I checked the weather and I decided to go home. I needed to go back to New Zealand. It was a question how I'm going to do it. So there is not so much to say about Luštica Bay, Belgrade road, different roads, some a little bit better, some a little bit worse. The main road I took was beautiful. Serbia definitely has gorgeous hills and mountains, rivers and monasteries, cafes and restaurants, authentic and exciting to see. I have to admit that it was a little hard to drive constantly on two wheels, but somehow everything fits nicely. I don't know, beautiful landscapes, good weather, a bit cloudy, but most of sunny, depends on the area. So I decided to go to Belgrade on the same day. The trip took about 10 hours in total, I think. 2 weeks of walking, driving, packing, booking, touring. I think I would like to do it again. And this is the end of my motorcycle journey through Italy. I must say, a journey of my life, one of the best vacations I had. Unique and inspirational vacation. I would like to do something similar, but with my family maybe in the future. I don't know is it possible, but time will show. And on my way home, I was only thinking about that and about the feelings regarding the whole thing. So I hope you enjoyed the whole story and all my videos, and I would like it if you could share your thoughts and maybe your own experiences with me. Thank you for watching. Yeah, have a good day and see you on some next trip.